Hi, welcome back to G-String Show. I'm Ailey Madison and we are talking to another artist from the Scottish music scene. Today we are with singer-songwriter Rosie Nimmo.
One life who said you go, she stays. Mistakes are made.
Currently, I'm a musician. I'm an artist as well. But my training in the past was as an art therapist. I went to art college as an adult and then furthered that by becoming an art therapist. And while I was an art therapist, I was working in quite a difficult project, and it was just, I was bringing work home with me. And my supervisor at the time suggested that I did something I really loved doing. I just said, "What do you love doing? What brings you joy?" And I said, I don't really know. And I said, "Well, I really like singing." So she told me that she knew a voice coach, because I said I didn't know if I could sing or anything. But she said, "I've got a voice coach that I know, and I'll put you in touch with her." So that's what we did, and I just started off singing. So that's about 18 years ago. That I went for some singing lessons, and then I formed a band of my own, which is a blues rock and soul band called Rosie Blue. Not my choice of name. The other band members wanted to call it that. Because one of the guys who worked in the project next to mine, he said he played a bit of guitar, and it turns out Stuart's a phenomenal guitarist. So his name is Stuart Allardyce, if anybody wants to check that out. So we formed the band and we performed together for several years. We did lots of gigs in festivals and things. We've done a lot of gigs in the Edinburgh Jazz and Blues Festival. Stuart and I also do a jazz and blues duo. And then 12 or so years ago, I started writing my own songs, because I thought I really like singing songs, and I like songs to have a kind of meaning. So I started writing my own songs. And that has now brought me to my 4th album.
So how would you describe your music?
I would it gets categorised as folk, sometimes jazz, a little bit of rock, a little bit of pop. So when I'm putting hashtags on Instagram, I do several, and they include Scottish singer-songwriter, indie pop, indie folk, acoustic folk, jazz. Don't really ever do blues. Maybe a little bit of country, some kind of country influence in there, but just a range.
Did you never push that boulder to the top of the hill, top of the hill? It just rolled right back down again. Top of the hill, oh, it just rolled right back down again. Top of the hill, hop là, c'est bizarre. La vie quotidienne est drôle. C'est fort, imprévisible. So very unpredictable.
So what's the setup of your band?
So I've done a few wee gigs on my own, but it's better, I think it's a fuller sound, obviously, with a band. So currently we have Tommy on bass, it's my husband, bass guitar, and we have Kathy Albison on percussion and drums, and Graham Smith on guitar as well. And I play harmonica as well, so when we need a bit of harp in there, we put a bit of harp in there. And on the recordings are a little bit different in that they have additional musicians on them. So Mark Pilley, who's my producer and friend, he's produced all my albums.
So how would you describe the Scottish music scene?
At the moment, there's not much happening, although there's actually quite a lot happening online. You know, there's loads of stuff. I think the Scottish music scene's really vibrant. Yeah, I think I'm not that involved with what else is going on out there, particularly just now, but I am involved in 2 or 3 little there's a thing called home songs, you know, online gigging opportunities, and there's a real good mix. And because I generally am in amongst the singer-songwriter kind of scene, these are the folk that I'm mostly seeing.
It can be so hard. It can be so hard to choose. It can be hard. It can be hard to choose. Do you believe it? Do you believe
What's next for Rosie Nimmo?
Who knows? Who knows? You tell me. What I'd like the future to hold for me is I'd like this album to, which is now, I'd like this album to become better known, because I think my songs talk about the human condition, and I'm a trained therapist, so you know, obviously a lot of that comes out in what I'm writing about. I get inspiration from all sorts of different sources, some of which are quite sad. My second album, Home, was quite a lot of that was quite sad and quite dark because my mum had just died that year, and there were a lot of very thought-provoking songs on that. But there were also some really joyful and cheerful ones. So, but the future for this year, it would be nice to, just for this album to get better known, to get a bit of radio play. It's already started out having some sort of BBC radio play, and I'm hoping that builds, because that seems to be, certainly from my point of view, the biggest audience. Even though online things are great, but you just don't, I don't know, you don't know how far a reach. I suppose it's got unlimited reach, hasn't it?
So that was Rosie Nimmo. I hope you enjoyed today's show. We are going to finish up with a live recording of Rosie with her band Rosie Blue and the song Stop, Take a Minute.
You better stop, take a minute to smell the flowers. Take a minute, could last for hours. Take a minute in your busy life. You know you better stop and take a minute to watch the grass grow. Take a minute to grow trees slow. Stop and take a minute, it might just save. Stop and take a minute, it might just save. I said stop, take a minute, it might just save your life.
Hi, thanks for watching the G-String Show. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and you're going to click that like button and also the subscribe button. Don't forget to share it to your friends!